seriously popular.
We didn't have TikTok. We never suddenly broke out into spontaneous, choreographed.
The Macarena.
We did have the Macarena.
They still have the Macarena. Welcome to The Life of You, the bonus episode where we tackle your dilemmas and share advice to navigate life's trickiest moments.
I went on TikTok and sporadically go on to try and look at content that the kids might be looking at. If this is a form of communication that young people are using in order to get cultural references and know what's out there, it's really tricky, isn't it? You can't just do a blanket ban on it.
Today, I'm joined by Christie and Rowan for a special Q&A. In this week's bonus episode, Sarah doesn't know how to get her kid off TikTok, and Fiona's son is having an existential crisis. Your questions answered right after this.
What is Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
This is a question from Sarah. My 14-year-old son spends hours scrolling through TikTok, and every time I try to set boundaries, it turns into an argument. He says it's where he learns about the world and connects with his friends, but I'm worried about the content he's exposed to and how much time he's spending online. At the same time, I feel so disconnected from him because he spends all of his free time on his phone. How do I create healthy boundaries while encouraging him to spend more time with me? Without it feeling like I'm nagging or forcing him? I feel like this is one that you two are going to have some fucking good answers for.
It's $1 million question, isn't it? It really is.
I feel like you're like, if you can't beat them, join them.
If I was that mum, try and take an interest in what he's interested in. So, for example, my son exclusively looks at basketball videos and I find them the most tedious, boring things in the history of the universe. However, if that's where he's at and what he's into, then I try and make a kind of enthusiasm for all these basketball players. I think you have to join them where they're at. So if there's one particular thing that he's focused on and interested in, then ask him about it. I think, again, it's all back to that communication. But you might have a different view.
I understand where he's coming from in terms of like how I keep connected with my friends. I think day to day, my friends make millions of references that I understand because I have TikTok.
Right.
So I think it's 100%. I understand where he's coming from on connecting with his friends and also news and stuff, because even half my information I look into is originally from TikTok, and I'm like, oh, is this true or not? Because, well, I'm not going to trust that it's just true. It's probably not half the time, but I do have friends that when they want to find out something, they don't go on Google, they just go on TikTok and search it on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess as with all things in parenting, I think it's just the best thing you can do is it's a negotiation, is that you sit down together and say, look, this is how I feel. I'd really like to hear how you feel, and really properly listen and say, how can we resolve it together? What do you think we could do? What do I think we could do? And how can we meet in the middle somewhere? What is an acceptable amount of time to be on your phone? Is there some way that on a Saturday night you could allow me 2 hours to take you to the cinema or whatever it is?
It's a bit analogue.
I know, it's a bit analogue.
I had a meeting with someone who is very political, very, in the know, and there are all sorts of theories which no one will publicly say, that they genuinely think that TikTok is like a Chinese weapon of war that is making our kids stupider. And because in China, kids aren't allowed TikTok. They have a version of it which is like
Red
limited. You're only on it for a certain amount of time.
I mean, I understand 100% the content can be disturbing on any social media platform, but
I think it could steal years off your life.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's designed to be addictive. I think that for me is the problem. This is designed to be addictive. And so you're not reading books when you're on it. You're not engaging in real life conversations. You're not meeting people in real life. But if this is a form of communication that young people are using in order to get cultural references and know what's out there, then I feel like it's really tricky, isn't it? You can't just do a blanket ban on it.
They're good at dance routines as well. Are you on TikTok?
I went on TikTok and sporadically go on to try and look at content that the kids might be looking at.
Right.
So
like
it's
a spy.
more like a spy. But again, it doesn't work because they only give me content that I pause on or look at. The AI is so clever that it's only giving me content that's related to me. So I've tried to, second guess the AI, obviously. Like, be basically, what do I think they might pause on, and try and pause on what they might pause on to actually get into the darkness of TikTok. I just think any screen time, if it's taking up your whole day, is going to do you some damage. So if you can possibly limit that with boundaries and discussions, then it's really probably healthier for all of us, myself included.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
Hey there, Ryan Reynolds here. It's a new year, and you know what that means. No, not the diet. Resolutions. A way for us all to try and do a little bit better than we did last year. And my resolution, unlike big wireless, is to not be a raging and raise the price of wireless on you every chance I get. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
If you're loving the conversation so far, and I know you are, good news! There are 2 episodes every week. Hit follow, subscribe now so I can be part of your weekly routine. My son says he's overwhelmed by climate change and doesn't see the point in studying or thinking about a future career. He spends so much time reading the news about the environment and other global issues, and it's made him really withdrawn and introverted. I want to help him find hope and see that he can still make a difference, but I don't know where to start. And that's from Fiona.
You might not feel like there's hope for the future, but the problem is the future's coming, whether you want it to or not. I think a big thing is seeing what others are doing to help helps. So if you feel like you yourself can't help, you look around and you see what others are doing to help. And it's like, oh, well, then we're making great strides in this way. Maybe I could help join them, or also just give some form of inspiration or hope to yourself to be like, oh, yeah, no, someone's doing something about it. Like something's going on.
I think that's a really lovely bit of advice, because we do focus so much on what's going wrong. It's like, but we can actually, the more that we immerse ourselves in what's going right, the better our lives become.
Finding community is really important, isn't it? When you are having any kind of existential dread for all of us. But I think, like you said, there are so many brilliant climate activists that Fiona's son might be interested in following and getting involved with, that is something really proactive. And I feel like if you're busy doing something proactive, then somehow it helps manage the fear.
Yeah.
Although I did suggest to you that we go on a climate march, and you said no, because you'll probably wear your leopard print dressing gown and hand out wagon wheels, and I'd be too embarrassed.
There's only so much neon you can put with leopard print before it becomes socially acceptable.
Thank you so much to Christie and Rowan for their wisdom today. I want to invite them back every week. Their book, No Filters, is out now. I would like to recommend this week the T-shirt I have worn to record this podcast. It's by a brand called Joanie. and it says "Bring Snacks" on it, and it is my favourite t-shirt at the moment. And the great thing about Joanie, which I love because it's quite size inclusive, and it's rare to find a company that is size inclusive. Actually, do you know what? My whole outfit is Joanie. The trousers are as well. I mean, obviously this is a podcast. You can't see what I'm wearing. I've got a shirt from there as well. And I'm really enjoying being in my shirt and trouser era, which I haven't been in before, but I feel it's like a bit more grown up. You know, it's me trying to move away from toddlercore. Anyway, Joanie, if this episode sparks something for you, share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Don't forget to follow this show and leave us a review. It helps more than you know. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on Monday.